This spring, attorney David Aylor is here to tell us about the laws surrounding alcohol and who's responsible if a party gets out of hand.
Yeah.
Good to talk to you.
Yeah.
This is a good conversation, whether it's a wedding or maybe just a party in your backyard. What are the rules?
Well, first of all, you've got to understand that if you're hosting the party, there's going to be some liability that's going to come back to you. So first thing you want to think about is if people are underage drinking there. If someone's underage drinking there and they leave there and something happens, or if they're underage drinking there and ultimately somehow the police are alerted maybe by their parents or someone else, you could have a criminal charge of contributing to the delinquency of a minor because you are supplying the alcohol. Maybe it wasn't you, but maybe you left it out there for them, that sort of thing. And that happens a lot. You know, the cool parent, ends up getting into some trouble.
That's what I was going to say. What about the parents that say, look, I know you're going to drink, just do it at my house and be safe, but you can still get in trouble? Well,
personally, I wish that would have been the way my mother was.
My parents were not like that, for the record.
Not at all. Southern Baptist. But ultimately, they could be charged. Now, not with their own child. That wouldn't be illegal, but the other children that were there, and when I say children, I mean under 21, and of course under 18, would be in that situation. He or she would be liable for that. And then you go outside of that, even for adults that are 21, if they've gotten served to the point of basically being intoxicated, overserved, whether you gave it to them or just supplied it. If it's your event or your party, we have what they call dram shop laws, and ultimately that could come back against you and your homeowner's insurance if they were out to go out and get in a wreck or go out and injure someone, assault someone, that sort of thing. So we see this a lot come up in bars and restaurants. You'll hear about a person that gets in an accident and someone else gets injured in another vehicle or in their own vehicle, and then they'll go back and the police will look to determine where they've been. And at that point, those bars or restaurant can be held liable for serving an intoxicated person, which is actually illegal in the state of South Carolina. Not something you often see people charged with, but it is illegal. So that liability also doesn't just go against the restaurant or bar. If you're having it at your own home or you're having an event, it can go against you as well, even though you're not a professional restaurant owner or bar owner. And a lot of times people get so caught up in the parties and they're excited to have it that they don't put in the proper structure in place to make sure that doesn't happen.
What about weddings? You know, it's such a big fun event. You serve the liquor, the alcohol. I know a lot of brides provide transportation to and from the hotel. I imagine that's a wise idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Having transportation, whether it be vans, buses, that sort of thing, having taxis, limos, Uber available. You can actually do now with Uber, you can have a code where you're sponsoring, you're paying for anybody that uses the Uber if they put in that code and it's coming back to you on their bill is. And so that really can help. But in those type of situations, you're usually going to see them come after whoever's actually involved in the event. Like if you hire a catering service, they're probably going to sue them, sue the place that the event is in, and then of course come at you because you're the one that actually threw the event.
So not only is the facility and the caterer could be responsible, but you as the bride and groom hold responsibility?
Yeah, because you're the one that brought the caterers in that ended up, serving that person which caused the incident.
Puts a black cloud over any wedding. So what do you do? Just be very...
Marriage is hard enough as it is, right? You don't want to start off that way.
Don't want to start. So what, just don't serve alcohol?
No.
What's your best bet?
Particularly in a place like Charleston with so many weddings and events, we have excellent, reputable companies. So you need to do the research on who you're hiring and where you're going. And there's plenty of companies that know all these rules, all their bartenders are trained, and it won't be an issue at all. But when you try to cut corners, hire a couple high school kids, and buy the beer yourself, that's when the incidents happen. It's really when people don't do their due diligence. But most of the wedding planners and event planners here, they're quite familiar with this and they know what to do. So it's really when people, I see it when they try to do it on their own.
Okay, so be smart about it.
Exactly.
Bottom line, be smart about whatever you do. And that's really cool about the Uber code. I learned something.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Good to see you.
Trial Tuesday with attorney David Aylor. We've got much more Low Country Live after the break, so stick with us.